Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast that we host between us, Sam, Kat, and Sam. We're here again. Can you believe it? With some more unhinged topics for you at the tripleu podcast. Please like and share and get your friends involved. We love doing this for you, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
I thought you were just literally sitting there like just staring at me, but the screen froze for a sec.
All right.
I was like, hello.
Great, I love that. Screen's frozen already. Your laptop has already had a meltdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's been through a lot, and she was a cheap buy, so I can't blame her.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not her fault.
She's done really, really well for all the
Considering.
logistics. Considering quite a bit.
I was once told that I don't deserve to own laptops. When I was having problems with my laptop, I think I gave it to my brother and he gave it to a friend. This friend took it apart and was like, what the fuck? She was dirty. She'd been through the wars. Like, not like what I had on the computer. I mean, like, physically, like, you took the back off and there's dust everywhere and shit like that in it, like fluff and stuff like that. So yeah, I am also not great with laptops, if I'm honest.
They get battered and bruised,
I just throw them around.
Yeah, just chuck it at the wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they could take it, right?
100%.
Oh, I never let my devices like die fully either, which I think is a thing that you should do, to let the plates or something in the batteries like go flat. I don't know. I heard this once. But I'm constant, like, as soon as it gets even near half, like, I'm actually with my laptop charging it all the time. I don't never have a charger in it. Just probably frying the battery.
Yeah, that is apparently bad. But also, I think it works better with the battery plugged in. So, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So if I'm doing lots of work, like if I'm just sitting in like a meeting or whatever, it's fine. But if I'm doing lots of work, I usually have it plugged in because she works better. She works harder, faster, and stronger,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about technology, so really this is all just
hearsay.
I was going to say glow in the dark, but that's wrong, and my brain knew it was wrong before I opened my mouth, so I stopped talking. But I shot in the dark. Wow, I am not doing well.
This is all just glow in the dark.
I would quite like to get some glow in the dark stars or something for my roof. Like you get for kids. I want the adult version of those. Although my roofs are extraordinarily tall, I would not be able to put them up. I would need somebody to do it for me.
Get a ladder. Do you have a ladder?
No, I can't reach.
No?
I have a step ladder.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not going to get you far.
But, excuse me. Normal people could reach on the step ladder, but I can't reach on the step ladder.
Okay.
This is a problem, okay? And they are high ceilings, to be fair. So, yeah.
Just a petite little girl.
I just echo.
I
stopped growing so long ago.
There was a meme where it was like, are you okay? And it's like, no, I stopped growing at the age of 12.
I shared that.
Yes, you did. I saw it, and then I saw that you shared it, and I was like, yeah. I was going to send it to you, but I didn't want to, like, rub dirt in it.
Just rub it in a little bit. And then, do you know what that meme really made me think? Like, when did I stop growing? Because, but I obviously hit puberty after the age of 12, so obviously I must have grown somewhat, Yeah. I'm certainly not as... I'm definitely sure I wasn't like 5'2" when I was 12 years old, so I definitely think I've done some growing. I remember being stuck at 4 foot for a really long time.
Oh yeah,
a really long time. I remember being 4 foot for forever.
You're just a little Sammy tot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I was stuck at 5 foot for quite some time. Like I sprung up to 5 feet, and then any guy friends I had, specifically my guy best friend, I was like, I'm taller than you. And then I got to 5 feet and capped out, and then he just kept growing, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never been aware of my height though. So I have this conversation with people all the time, and they're like, I've, always comes up. You're like, how tall are you? And I look at people, I'm like, oh, there's no way you're that tall. Like, you're the same size as I am. And they're like, we are not the same size. Like, like, I have no concept of how short I am. I'm like, no, but I can look in your eyes right now. They're like, that's not how height works.
But I can see your eyes.
I know, I can see you. You're like right here.
I love that. Oh, that's so cute. I did hear, and I don't know how true it is, but for people that have periods, it's like sometime after, like a few years after your first period is when you stop growing.
Oh, I haven't heard
Yeah,
that before.
yeah. It could have just been like one of my friend's moms trying to make me feel better. To be like, you still have time, baby, because I got my period kind of late. And
Nobody ever
not
said
like
that
late,
to
late,
me.
but late-ish, considering all my other friends had theirs already. And I was like, because I
Wait,
remember
what year
as a
were,
little,
what age were you when you had your first period?
I was in grade 9, so at the start of high school. So I was like 14, which isn't
Oh
crazy.
wow, you were a late bloomer.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember just as a kid, though, and hearing about this period being petrified of getting it. Because I was just like, I could not, I was inconsolable. And I would bawl my eyes out to my mom, and my mom would just be like, it's normal, it's okay. And I was like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm like, how can I get out of this? And then I, like,
Poor
even to the
baby.
point of being like, my brothers are so lucky. Why wasn't I a boy? Like,
Aw. I had no
yeah,
thoughts like that about my
yeah.
period. And I remember getting it and being like, I can't even, because I'd heard people would like cry and blah, blah, blah. And I remember like genuinely thinking, like, how do I feel right now? And thinking, I feel like I should be upset, but I literally don't care.
Hmm.
That's when I knew I was a little bit of a sociopath, you know? That's when I knew she was cold and dark inside.
No feelings. That has
And I've
significantly
continued
changed,
on
though, I
like
think.
that way for the last 20 years as well. Nitla, nitla, nitla. For the
It's a
last
great
20
song.
years, I have been exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Some of the voice notes we share when we're on our periods is could
You,
speak to
you
something
have
else.
you have seen me or heard me, if not seen me, at at my worst. To be fair, so yeah, there's definitely feelings in there.
So, it was like I was terrified to get it as a kid, but then all my friends were getting it, and then I didn't have it yet, and so I was scared that I wasn't getting it.
You were broken.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it was just a combo pack. I'm like, damned if I do, damned if I don't.
I I'm glad. I probably am glad I got it earlier on because I
Mm.
think the pressure, the
What?
suspense of waiting
When did you
for
get yours?
I would have been 12, maybe 13,
Okay.
just so it was earlier.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think if I had been later to the game like you are, I would have also been like, oh my god, there's something wrong with me. Or you would just never know when it was coming, and you'd be like constantly on edge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
It's
was strapped with
yeah,
pads constantly.
all times ready to go.
At all times. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whip that bad boy out.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep. And I remember when I did finally get it, because I like had this envy and FOMO of girls being like, "Can you check me? Like, can you see like the pad kind of thing?" And then I didn't like announce that I had it, but what I did, because I thought it was so slick and cool, was I went up to one of my friends and I was like, "Can you check me?" And they were like, "You got it."
I do not. That did not happen. I did not have that. Well, I mean, I didn't really have a one solid group of friends throughout, my high school years. I didn't have the best time as a teenager. Um, so I kind of moved from group to group, and at that, if that might have been going on in friend groups, but it certainly wasn't going on in me.
Hmm.
I don't remember talking about my period with anyone.
Yeah.
I remember hating it. It was
Yeah.
inconvenient. It was
Yeah.
like, and yeah, I just,
Oh,
yeah,
once I got it though, I was like, nope, don't want this. Nope. Can
yeah.
I return, please? Is there a
Return to
return
sender.
policy?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Well, I think that's the case for quite a lot of young girls as well, and that's part of the thing that I think scared a lot of young women, especially like in our age and even before that, because like the education just is still not as good as it can be. Like there's so much that we don't know about the female reproductive system
Mm-hmm.
and menstrual cycles, and more and more is coming out, but you kind of have to like be in that algorithm, let's say, to be getting that information. It's not just like public knowledge that women and girls are being taught in a timely manner, which I think would have been very helpful for the likes of someone like myself who is a paranoid little scaredy cat.
I thought you were going to see paranoid schizophrenic there.
I
Like,
was
isn't it?
tempted to say it, but
Yeah, I
I
thought you were as well.
shot myself.
That's just where I expected that to go. I Did you see recently the illustration of like the ovaries and the fallopian tubes and all that kind of stuff, and the fact that like the ovaries and the fallopian tubes are not joined? It like makes a great leap. It doesn't really make a great leap, but like they just kind of, and all that, and the image of the female reproductive system is actually not what we're all brought up to. It doesn't
Yeah.
look anything like what we were all, yeah,
No. Well, yeah. Maybe. I did see one though where it was like everything is so compact and
yeah,
pressed down.
yeah,
Yeah,
that.
okay, same one. And it looks scary and ominous. Um,
Yeah,
but
it
it
looks
makes
like
a
a
lot of
monster
sense
from
as to
Stranger
why like
Things.
hmm?
It looks like a monster from Stranger Things.
Kind of, yes, like a
Yeah,
demogorgon.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's what they're called.
but it makes sense as to why like they can hurt so much because everything's just like right in there and it's a very small space. Um, but yeah, you know.
We weren't going to talk about periods this time, and yet here we are again.
You know what? It's a great topic. It's a
It
great
is a great
topic to talk
topic.
about.
It
But
is a
it's a
great.
good segue into other things.
Bella is really going for my hand right now.
Do you have lotion on?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Um, I
You
can't
rock
remember.
the bush or no bush?
Oh, yeah, I was like, I can't remember a single fucking topic we were going to talk about. And then there you go. Okay, so yeah, I guess it is kind of a good pubic hair.
Yeah.
And just hair body hair in general for
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
And I was pondering this. We've had this conversation a fucking thousand times, I think, actually, between us, because we're both quite
Hmm.
different.
Hmm.
One, I'm blessed because I'm quite fair. Right. So if I start, for example, yeah, you can't see anything going on there. I haven't shaved well over a week and a half, maybe now.
Oh,
Can't see anything. Um, so I often will just, if I don't need to, I don't even know that I don't really need to. I often leave my pets, I
mm.
must admit. And I
Hmm.
sometimes find it fascinating. I like the way I grow my hair out and then cut it all off. I do
Mm.
that. I kind of do the same thing with my pets. I hate my leg hair
Is it
because I.
darker?
No, it's not any worse. Like again, I mean, I guess the cameras are, but I feel like my shins, are the only bit of me that looks really, really, really white.
Right. Okay.
Whereas the rest of me sort of looks like I might have seen the sun, sometimes this decade, and it, I just think it makes my skin look like it's really white. So I quite like to have shaved legs. And then for the bush, I've always been not a fan of the bush.
Mm.
I find the bush to be annoying and itchy and uncomfortable. And I've tried to grow it out. I've tried to do some landscaping sort of vibes recently.
Hmm.
I've tried to go for a landing strip, which I really like. Or not like a landing; it's like a triangle, and I really like that. I think it looks super cute and super attractive. And however, That's a level of maintenance that I'm just not good at. And
Mm.
every time I try to shave around it, I'm literally looking at myself and I'm like, this is not a straight triangle.
It's a lot
Like
of
this
upkeep.
is yeah, this is not right. And then eventually and I shave it off and start
Yeah.
again because I literally cannot keep a fucking triangle straight. Um but yeah, I'm not a massive fan of having body hair myself, but also I'm blessed enough that I could just let it. It's because I don't have a copious amount.
Hmm.
I'm not one of those people that has really dark, thick, coarse hair that is a fucking nightmare and can likely be hell on earth. I get away with it in a way that a lot of women probably wouldn't, and they would feel self conscious about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, personally for me, I don't really feel strongly one way or the other.
Mm.
I just do whatever I'm feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I don't have to, like, obviously, I haven't shaved in a week and a half because I've not been working, I've not been out. It's fucking winter. But I'm not one of those people that would leave my legs for the full winter because
No,
that,
you don't do the winter
no, that
coat?
drives me crazy. I like to have smooth legs. And they feel dry when I've got, like hair
Do you
feels
not
dry.
lotion your legs?
Of course I do. I'm covered in lotion. That's why Bella's licking me. But then I can feel the hair and it just doesn't feel as smooth
I guess it's what
and
you're used to, because like,
yeah.
not that I'm rocking hairy legs all the time, like 365 days a year, but I have darker hair, as you can see.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. So I can't necessarily get away with, quote unquote, just like leaving a bit of pit hair or leaving a bit of leg hair and it not really going that noticed.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like, see, I'm the kind of girl that I'm like an event shaver,
Yeah.
you know? If I'm going somewhere where I know that the potential of my armpits being shown or my legs being shown, I'll give them a little shave. But on a regular basis, I just let that freak flag fly.
See, I'm an event shaver as well, although um the regularity at which I go to events, I suppose it's different because when I model, I don't need to shave. There's a lot of models that don't, but I
Mhm.
do. But I like to shave. It's
Yeah, because
effort though.
if I were to show you my armpits right now, I think the last time I shaved them was, I don't know, like 4 days ago,
Mhm.
and it's very, you can see, you know. Um, and I also have an issue with sensitivity under my arms, like to the point of like not just little razor bumps, but like cysty kind of situation, and
You are a
it's
sisty girl, aren't you?
I'm a cysty sister.
You are a sisty sister.
Yeah, super
I've
fun. I think
never.
there's a name for it. Like there's an
Yeah,
actual condition.
there
Um,
is.
yeah.
I don't know what it is called, but
Cysty sister syndrome.
yeah, cysty sister syndrome. It's quite common, particularly under the armpits. I've seen
Yeah.
some pretty horrendous looking armpits over on ye old TikTok where you scroll past. I love
Yeah.
us. I love stopping for a little medical mystery. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but a wee tooth video, a dentist cleaning. Oh, I fucking
Mm.
love them. Love them.
Mm.
Yeah. a nail trimming. All about that. I fucking love
Wild.
it. Yeah, and then just throwing a wee pressure washer video there, and I mean,
Okay, yeah.
you've taken me to heaven, you
I'm
know?
on board with that for
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's like similar kind of vibes to shaving downstairs. Like I rock a bush.
Yeah.
It just for me personally is comfortable. I'm the
Mhm.
opposite if I'm to shave it.
Would annoy the
Um
shit out of you?
well,
I would annoy the shit out of you.
it's like itchy scratchy for me then.
Yeah.
Like the
Whereas
grow
itchy
back.
scratchy for me when I grow it out. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, because are you like constantly shaving your
Not
vagina?
cause. Yeah, basically.
I'm like clenching right now how
I was gonna
raw
say
I
not
would
really, but
feel.
yeah. Like if I let it get so at this stage, um, this is annoying the shit out of me. Like it's itchy, it's
Uh-huh.
annoying. It's been a week, you know. Uh and I'll shave Friday morning.
Is it
I
not
don't
painful?
To shave? No,
No,
it's
like when it's
annoying.
just the little stubbly grow back.
No, it's more like when
Oh,
it's
'cause
at
you're
this
fair.
at this length, it's really fucking itchy as fuck. I'm more
Mm.
likely to be itching now. But that'll be because I'm used to it because I've always shaved, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for a while, for a good few years there, I was waxing.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess I'm used to it. But so I've tried to free the bush
Mhm.
over the last few years, but I find it's just too itchy. I can't. It gets to a stage a few weeks, and I'm like, nah, tapping out. It has to go.
Mhm. Mhm. Well,
It
don't get me
has to go.
wrong. There were stages of my life where I was um maintaining, let's say, and like I would shave it right down, but that was also kind of more an event
Yeah,
thing. Like if I was going on a night out and like, the potential of having
yeah,
some, tomfoolery, buffoonery was on the table, then, I'd go ahead and do that. And I think a lot of it for me personally was like self-consciousness and thinking that's what men would want. And if I
yeah,
have any tiny little bit of hair on me, I'm not going to be desirable, you
yeah.
know? And I think there's a connection to like, because a lot of people consider body hair to be um, dirty
Hmm.
and unhygienic, which just is not the truth,
Yeah.
because men have armpit hair, men have leg hair, men have a lot of pubic hair, probably, unless they're shaving too, which they can. Um, and we don't consider that to be dirty or unhygienic.
Hmm.
If you're washing yourself, you're washing yourself. I think that's the determining factor, but I think there's this connotation that if you have body hair, you're dirty. And, I think that was one of the things that kept me in the grip of if I don't do this, then I am dirty. Or,
Yeah.
and then like keeping up with it was difficult because my hair grows back so quickly and coarsely and darkly. And and it's just not a good time. It's not a good time for me. I got waxed a couple times, I think. And that was fine. Like the pain wasn't that bad actually. I remember going in the first time being like, "Oh my god, it's going to be the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life." But it wasn't that bad.
I
It was fine.
remember the very first time I went, and probably around about 10, maybe 12 years ago now, right? And it was like in a little nowhere village that I happened to be living at the time. And it cost me 12 quid
Hmm.
for a wax. And now it's like 50. Uh,
Golly. Five
yeah.
zero?
Yeah.
Jesus.
You're talking between 40 and 50. It depends what you're getting done, obviously, and where you are. But like prices have skyrocketed. And this is part of the reason why, like, I'm lazy as fuck.
Girl,
Okay.
same.
Yeah. And I quite enjoy getting wet. Not enjoy it, but like there's something about I enjoy going to
Well,
to
it's like a treat
to
yourself
the
kind of
beauty
pamper.
parlor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And being like, just take care of me, please.
Yeah, do it for me.
Yeah, but it's gotten to the point where it's like this is ridiculous. Like that's so much money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't been waxing forever. Um and
How about
I
hair removal creams?
well this remember I tried this and I was like on the one here, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, shit. What a letdown hair removal creams are. I can imagine there are situations where this is useful, but it's not for me. It takes longer than shaving, but it has the same results. The hair grows
Yeah.
back just exactly at the same speed that shaving does.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, fair enough if you can't hack a razor. And I do know some people who still, after shaving for 20 years, still fucking cut themselves up. Those people should use hair removal cream, right? But yeah, I thought it would be like, right, cool, it'll get it to the root. It'll be like waxing, but with hair removal cream.
Yeah, it'll melt it down to the root.
Melt the follicles. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, no.
Yeah.
And I would never do anything permanent, like laser removal and although, as I understand it, that's not totally, totally permanent. But I would never want to do something to my own body hair that kept it gone forever,
Mm.
because right now I've decided, well, I want a nice, cute little triangle. What
Mhm.
if I decide in, 5 years' times that I do, I want to try the bush again, or I want to try something else and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
the regularity at which I grow in my armpit hair and leave it for a couple of months and be like, and then, shave it all off again. For me, permanence is not something that I'm very, I'm very good at. I have commitment issues. Okay. If you've seen the amount of hairstyles I've had over the last, 20 years, you'll understand.
Mhm.
Um, but I totally get what you're saying about like that whole feeling dirty and thing, and because you thought men would like it. And
Mm.
I remember the moment that it changed for me between like, oh, it feels dirty and they won't want me otherwise, to actually, I just prefer to have it this way because personally for me, I don't really like a mouthful of hair. And like, I'm just giving what I would like because
Yeah.
I hate touching like my own hair.
Yeah.
Um, like wet hair, somebody else's wet hair, having worked in the hotel industry, somebody else's wet hair from the bath or the shower touching me, girl, no.
Well, that's somebody else's.
Well, this is what you want me to have sex with you and you want me to touch your hair with my mouth? No, thank you.
Well,
Not that I'll ever say no to any genitals that come in my direction, ever, whether they have hair or not. But for me, it's personal preference. Anyway,
that's fair, and if that's the case, that's the case. We all
yeah,
like what we like, and personally for yourself too, with body hair or not. I think that's what it should be though.
yeah,
Like not
personal
a
preference
not
rather than
necessarily
this.
because it's for anybody else, but it's just if you want to do that too, that's fine. But I just want to like let it be known too that I think there's this sort of I don't know if like rhetoric is the right word. If I'm just trying to
Uh,
sound smart.
the
But
patriarchy and pedophilia and Eurocentric beauty standards that make
yeah,
us remove our body hair because it's not feminine and it's
yeah,
not deemed as a clean feminine
that part.
quality, when in fact, actually, obviously, it's as natural as it is on men. And obviously, with the pink tax, where
Mhm.
women end up paying more for razors, they pay more for all of our, and there's absolutely no need for it. And essentially, it's just a money making ploy. And it's one more way that capitalism and the patriarchy can keep us down and keep us, demure rather than raging and overthrowing the shit that does not work.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's on body hair, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So after we've said all this amazing stuff about our choices, which is absolutely how it should be, this is how we like to do it, and our thoughts have changed over the years. In a bigger, look at everything, if you step back and look at the big picture, the
Mhm.
reason why we think we have to remove our body hair at all is all down due to, the patriarchy and capitalism. It's about
Yeah.
making money and it's about keeping us small.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's bullshit.
Yep. And I remember feeling like drop the mic. I remember feeling like yeah, I won't be feminine, I won't be girly, I won't be considered um in that way if I have any body hair, and I think there's a lot of women and girls out there who like do have more body hair than others, and they probably well, I don't know, maybe they've done their own sort of journeys with it, but are fed this idea and made to feel like a monster essentially if they have more hair than what's deemed normal,
Yeah.
and it's just like we're fucking
Yeah,
mammals,
because I
like
mean, yeah, how many times, like, I can remember being in, school and stuff and hearing, oh, you've got hairy arms like a man, or you've got,
mhm,
why have you got so much hair on your back, or whatever, because of
mhm,
women who happen to have more hair, and it does happen to be in more places.
mhm,
Uh, and speaking as I find it extraordinarily sexy when a woman has body hair. I know I've just said all that stuff, but
I was like,
see,
"Wait a minute."
I know, I've just said all that stuff, but aesthetically,
From a
women with
viewpoint.
body, yeah, I mean, don't I would absolutely have sex with them consensually
Mhm,
and respectfully, um, but I think women, I think body hair on women is so fucking attractive. I really think it's so hot. There's something about it. I see a woman with armpit hair, and I'm like, we're gonna be pals, and hopefully more. You know. So despite all of I have just said, I have a texture pandemic thing about hair. It freaks me out. I'm thinking about it now, and it's kind of freaking me out. But I find it so fucking sexy on a woman who has body hair. So hot, so hot. So yeah, there you go. Fucking,
There you go.
there you go.
Do what you want. Rock the bush. Don't rock the bush. Live your best life. Don't let the patriarchy get you down.
Exactly, do it for you, and
Yeah.
that's the whole point. It's acceptable to have hair because we literally, if it grows on your body, if your body looks like that, then it's natural, and it's the
Mhm.
way that you were intended to be. Like, it's genetics, it's
Mhm.
nature, it's what makes us all individual and unique. Your body deserves to be an individual. And I think that there's a lot of beauty standards right now, Eurocentric beauty standards, that have us all looking a certain way with Botox and fillers, and currently the trend of being very, very thin again, and being hairless and being tanned, and all this stuff. And it's like, why do you want to look like 1,000 other girls?
Mm.
Why do you? Not that they're not beautiful,
No.
because obviously they are. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the beauty standard. They're stunning, you know. But I can't understand how it got. It was so easy for our society to tell us that the natural bodies we were born with the spots and the scars and the scabs and the hair and the
The
pimples and
lumps,
the
the bumps.
the lumps and the bumps and the lines and the jiggles and were somehow disgusting, when it is the way that you were naturally built to be. I
Mhm.
don't understand how so many beautiful women can be told, well, actually, the fact that you look like that is not right.
Mhm.
And you should cover yourself up, and you should be ashamed, and you should spend a lot of money trying to fix it,
Mhm.
because it's just wild. And again, speaking from my own personal preference, I think women who are, glorious and curvy are the most stunning creatures to walk this earth. And I don't
Well, thank you.
and I don't understand how we got to where we are, where so many women and men are
Mhm.
trying to starve themselves into a body that they just don't they're not meant to exist in.
Mhm. It's really freaking me out
Yeah, it's
seeing
so
what's
horrendous right now.
happening again,
Mhm.
because there was the point where, the whole body positive movement and accepting curvy bodies and bigger bodies, and like there was still a bit of, because fat phobia is so deeply ingrained in our society that, if even the thought of becoming fat or gaining weight for many people, myself included in the past and like even a little now, it's like the worst possible thing that could happen to you, which is just like so not okay. And also just wrong. Like it's such a sad thing to witness, and like I'm just really glad to have gotten to the point now where how I exist in myself, in my body, in my day to day. But I think I'd mentioned it before where it's like I just think about like little me, like little kid me,
Mhm.
and thinking about other young littles that are like me, growing up in this society that's like Y2K point 2.0 7654321. Um and it's just like heartbreaking to see this dialogue come about again.
Yeah.
And like the jokes that are made about like, oh, I can't find my waist, or
Oh
like
yeah.
just these trends that are popping up on TikTok that at first glance might seem harmless and kind of funny, but if you really take a look at the or like listen to what's being said, it's pointing to thin is in, fat is not, whatever. Like, I don't know. It's this kind of like thing gets me riled up, and I'm like,
It's
um,
very, do you know, and I feel like it's so much more like mainstream. So when we were young, it was pro ana blogs on Tumblr, right? That was pretty much where you got this kind of stuff from. So that wasn't that wasn't like for us to go find. Obviously, papers and TV and magazines all showed us these images all the time of very, very, very skinny people. But for us, as people at home, to find that kind of content at our fingertips and essentially, be bombarded with it all the time, there wasn't that many places you could like go online. There was just a couple of, whereas now with TikTok and Instagram and even the other socials, the it's all at your fingertips all the time. Like who isn't
totally.
constantly attached to their phone? Whereas at least when we were growing up, there was a bit of a you could step away from stuff. And finding things like that supported, starving yourself, like the pro ana blogs, was actually a little bit of effort. Whereas I don't think it takes a whole lot of effort to slip into that these
Hmm.
days when you're like on TikTok and stuff. And that's what's really alarming is like we are seeing here as women in our 30s um that the way we grew up in the early 2000s was really, really damaging to us. It was
Hmm.
insane. And we're only now getting a healthy relationship with our bodies. Okay, I still can't look in myself in the mirror and actually see what I look like. Like I've got no concept of what I look like.
Mm.
That's my brain just doesn't see it anymore, and that's really, really difficult sometimes for me to overcome.
Hmm.
All of this has been damage that's done throughout these really, really skinny trends, and all of a sudden we have this, wonder drug that's on the market that
Gosh, yeah.
is essentially a lazy way to lose weight. An absolute godsend for people who genuinely have an addiction to food and can't control their weight and need that help. But for, unfortunately, what is happening is, as usual, people with money and influence are getting that don't need this drug are able to get their hands on it, and they've gone from already very slim to extraordinarily skinny,
Hmm.
and that is terrifying.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was made with the purpose to help people with diabetes.
Yeah, it's a diabetes drug. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's just been,
and it suppresses the appetite, which is great for people who genuinely need help. Like, can you imagine being one of those people who has been obese their entire life and has genuinely gone on and off diets, their entire life and is miserable and it
hmm,
controls them?
hmm,
And they've had disordered eating and they've been in psychological help with therapy and all these kind of things. They've possibly done damage to themselves, and to be getting given a drug under the supervision of hopefully a therapist and a GP who know what the fuck they're doing,
yeah.
to be able to bring their body weight down to a healthy level, that sounds amazing. They finally found a drug that helps with that, because at the end of the day, the way that people eat food who are obese tend to also either have a genetic, predisposition to being that size, and
Mm,
therefore it's very difficult for them to shift weight anyway,
hmm.
or they have an addiction to food, which is very, very difficult to overcome because we know what it's like to overcome addiction. And
Yeah.
it's not as simple as just, oh, lock yourself in a room for a week and just don't take it, because
Yeah.
it's fucking food. You need it,
Yeah. No,
you
addiction
know?
to food is probably one of the like toughest ones because you need food to survive. You can't
Yeah.
abstain from food.
Yep.
Um, and you and I both have tried. And I don't want to use the word succeeded, but have achieved what we tried to achieve in doing so, and before you got to the drug part, when you were just explaining that thing, I was like, check, 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 check,
Mm.
check. Like that was, I'm like, are you telling my story? Are you
Yeah.
telling my story, girl? Um, 'Cause yeah, it's that yo-yo diet, it's that feeling the need. Like I think since the age of, I can't even think before a time where I didn't think about losing weight. Um, I can't remember. I was put on diets from a very young age. Um, I didn't have the luxury of stepping away from, um, you need to be thinner, you need to be lighter. I was surrounded by it constantly.
Yeah.
Um, because the family I was raised in, I love them all to death, but they were also raised in a society that told them being overweight is bad. And so they thought they were doing what was right. But as an impressionable young girl, I thought just existing was the worst possible thing,
Yeah.
in the body that I had and have, you know? And looking up to my mom as well, who is my literal hero, and her speaking so poorly about her body and hearing the things that came out of her mouth and learning, okay, that's how I need to talk about myself as well, because I look like her
Yeah.
and I want to be like her in every possible way. And so it's by no fault of anybody apart from, this idea that in order to be attractive and healthy, you must be thin, which, being fat doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy, and being skinny doesn't mean you are. Did I say that incorrectly? Fat, unhealthy, skinny, healthy. Not correct, right? Not always. It can be.
Yeah, you can, and this is it. BMI has been proven to be a pile of shit,
Oh,
and
it's bullshit.
this
It's
is how
bullshit.
they're giving out this drug as well. Is if you have a BMI of whatever, and we know that there are some amazing people uh, who are fantastic athletes who we've seen compete and win in the Olympics, who have really high BMIs, but and because they're carrying so much muscle and their body can achieve amazing things, and they're probably more, cardio good than than than
My
most
cardio good.
more cardio good than, and I've seen plus size dancers do the most amazing things with their bodies,
Yeah.
that we can do, and we think, oh well, how can a fat person do that, because obviously they're sick and blah blah blah, and that's just not the case.
Hmm.
The size of somebody's body is absolutely no indication of what it can do.
Hmm. Or how it
Absolutely.
actually is,
Yeah. And
inside.
as well, when you've got super skinny people, like, they might not be healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So body weight and appearance of body is not the determining factor as to whether or not you are
Yeah.
healthy.
What I think is really important is and for a while there, strong was coming in really as a thing,
Yeah.
and I think it's really important to look at some of the people that are, really big in the public eye right now, and look at them and be like, well, they fuel their fucking body,
Hmm.
because they're in the gym, they're, doing their sport, they're, whatever insane training regime that they need to compete in the Olympics. And remember that in order to be like them, you have to feel your body.
Yep.
And that being strong and not wanting to pass out and not being hungry all the time is just the better way to live.
Hmm.
It is unfortunately a really hard one to fix once you go down that road with the
Hmm.
addiction to food,
Hmm.
and thinking that food is bad and you need to punish yourself with exercise. And these are things that I still struggle with. I know that you still struggle as well.
Hmm.
These are really, really, really hard habits to get out of. And, I'm not a perfect person and I'm working on them. And sometimes, particularly if you add in some hormones, like
Yeah.
I will be like, I just can't even, I'm horrendous. I should blah, 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 blah,
Uh,
blah. You know?
Hormones, one hell of a drug, and not the
Yeah.
good kind. No,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
kids, don't do drugs.
absolutely. Make me
Um,
say all sorts of things that I don't mean at all.
Same girl. Oh, yeah.
I feel like we had quite a strenuous first half. So this, I think, is time to perk things up.
We've had a few giggles, but yeah, it's been some important stuff to talk about. But yeah, let's talk about polyamory. Let's talk about sister
Yeah,
wives.
yeah,
Let's
okay.
talk about.
Right. So this is it. So this is how it came into mind this morning. I was out with my little walk with Bella. And this is where most of my good ideas come from, if I'm honest, is when I'm out with Bella. Um, I was pondering, I think because I just walked past a field of sheep. But like,
Okay.
one day I
Okay.
cannot wait to have, a house somewhere with some land,
Yes.
where I can have, a couple of sheep, pigs, some chickens, some geese, some ducks, some dogs, like a sanctuary-esque vibe, and just be all of
Mm-hmm.
my animals, and maybe grow some stuff, and maybe bake bread, and have a bunch of kids. And like, as I am building this perfect little reality in my mind, I'm like, that's unattainable slash unsustainable for two people,
Mm.
two adults. It's just is. Even if the financial climate wasn't the way it was, and we could afford that lifestyle, that's a lot of fucking work for two people, right? Presuming that one of them has to be at work all the time. So then I went down what I usually go down, and I think this is quite a common little fantasy for people these days, is buying land and a big ass house and living with, 20 other people. And in that house, obviously, you've got the people who are partnered up, the people who are single, the people who have got kids, the people who don't have kids, the people who go out to work, the people who stay home, people who don't work, people, all of the varieties of people are in this house, and it's that whole it takes a village.
Yeah.
You all, do a bit of everything. Everything's split equally. You're helping out with the kids, with the food, with the household, with the animals, with the vegetable garden, with all this stuff, right? And in that thought process, I was like, would I end up having an open relationship or some, because I'm really affectionate. Like, I mean, I mean, if you were here, I mean, I love you so much. Do you know what I mean?
I love you
I
too, girl.
and I'm so touchy.
Mm.
I I like to squeeze people a lot, you know?
Physical touch, your love language.
It is, yes.
Mm.
I'm a very, like, I love you so much. I think I'd probably be like, it would be like a polyamorous relationship, but it wouldn't necessarily be complete intimacy and stuff. It wouldn't necessarily be sex with everybody, but I'd be like, give me a schmoosh before you go to work. I'll just kiss. And it just kind of got me thinking, well, actually, could I do an open relationship,
Mm-hmm.
uh, be in a polyamorous triangle, square, rhombus, whatever, over the course of my life? Would it really matter to me? But then on the other side, I also really, really, really like the idea of being somebody's wife
Mm-hmm.
and being like, that person's mine.
Yep.
Mine call my own. And
That's
like,
me.
as usual, the two sides of my fucking personality were like battling out this morning whilst I took the dog for a walk. So I thought it'd be a nice little conversation to be like, what do we think of this? Because things have changed a lot since we were, polyamory wasn't even a word. I mean, it was, but it wasn't, certainly not in anything other than a negative context.
Mm-hmm.
And now, an open relationship is not seen as weird. Well, I mean, I suppose it probably is still in some circles.
Yeah, it depends.
Polyamory is seen, more positively, and the understanding is generally is that humans aren't monogamous anyway. We don't mate for life. We're not lobsters.
I found my lobster. But yeah. No, I mean, I guess like I still have the because I opened it up with I was like, let's talk about polyamory, let's talk about sister wives. And there was like that show on TLC. Was it? I was about
TLC, I've seen it. Yeah, apparently I've not seen the show, but I've heard this show is fucking wild.
yeah,
As
it's a wild
everything that was
time.
ever on TLC was
Yeah.
just complete and utter chaos.
And
Yeah.
I think like I know that it's not that like one and the same. you know, because it's just a name and it umbrellas so many different things, and open relationships can be a variety of beautiful things. But my brain does kind of carry me back to like that vibe. And then also like, we were supposed to get light here, but to like the far,
Yeah,
what's it
yeah, the
called?
bad kind of polyamory,
Yeah, where it's
where it
like
feels
control and
like,
having,
yeah.
yeah, like culty.
I'm
Um,
thinking about the creative queer side of
yeah.
polyamory where we all just love each other and we
Well,
love
there's
our
that audio on
friends.
TikTok where it's like, I want to have a boyfriend and I want
And I
my
want the boyfriend
boyfriend.
to have a boyfriend. Yes, I want to have a boyfriend, and I want my boyfriend to have a boyfriend, and I want to have a girlfriend, and I want my girlfriend to have a girlfriend, and we're gonna have a bunch of kids, and nobody's gonna know who the mum is. Nobody's gonna like. We'll all carry, except for that one that's like, oh no, pregnancy, and we live in a big house together, and that would be quite literally the vibe,
You know what?
except for the fact that I want to be somebody's wife and
Yeah.
loved as an individual, in an individual basis.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know what I'm trying to say. So,
No,
like,
I get it.
again, two opposing views there.
Yeah. You
But
want
yeah,
to have
that's
your
where
cake and
I
eat it
go when
too.
I talk about polyamory. Is like in the everybody's queer in my mind because I'm queer. I'm like I don't understand how somebody cannot be like attracted to. I don't understand it, but I understand that straight people exist, and so I'm told. Um,
Apparently.
Unfortunately, I've yet to meet one.
Yeah, because I'm not. I'm not. I'm just
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
am here.
You're just in the closet still.
Oh, girl. Do you know how many times I like had wished that, because that's how I know sexuality isn't a choice. Because
It's
if it
because
had been,
you're attracted to men.
yeah.
Hmm.
Like I love my boyfriend, love him to death. So much. But if I had had the choice, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I would have been like either bi or just full blown lesbian.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the
You know?
vibe,
Yeah.
although in saying that, I would say that in the I was going to say there, obviously it gives you way more choice, but there's only about 3 men on planet Earth I would allow to touch me, in comparison to the bazillion women.
One right
Yeah,
behind me.
he's number one, obviously.
Happy Pedro. Yeah.
Happy Pedro.
Who else?
So yeah, I say polyamory to you, and you immediately think sister wives,
Well,
and
okay. Yes, but no. You know, I don't want it to get twisted that like I have a negative view on open relationships and polyamorous relationships. They're the same thing. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know anything. Um but it is a thought that does come up because I do have the flip side what you were talking about and like the queer relationships and um that whole viewpoint too. And I'm like, I don't want to be canceled.
our cat always looking out for the cancellation crowd.
Oh
Do
gosh.
you want to be? Do you want to be a wife to love and to hold from till death do us part kind of vibe? Or are you let's just stay engaged forever? Let's not even bother with that shit. What are you? Tell me.
Well, I'm definitely a monogamous girly.
Mm-hmm.
I am very well, not I don't want to sound cuckoo crazy and
Possessive? Is that what you were about to
possessive. I
say?
was gonna say that, yeah.
Oh my god.
Um, but I'm like mine. You know, that's mine. You know, you do, like live your life, live your best life, do your thing, be with your friends, kiki, cuckoo, caca, poop. Um, but but at the end of the day, you know, I'm yours, you are mine. You know, kind of
Yeah.
vibes. Um, I think I'd like to get married. I think I'd like to be someone's wife. Um, hopefully my boyfriend's, but you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that it's like entirely necessary. It's still one of those things that I am not fully one way or the other, you know? I think for a long time I was like, yeah, I need to get married. But actually no. Okay, so I'm lying. I think I would love to have a wedding and I would love to wear the dress and I would love to have like a party with all my close loved ones and just like celebrate.
I mean, we could do
our
that
love.
like tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't need a husband for that. You don't need a man
Yeah.
for that. We could just have a big party and all wear dresses if that's
Yeah.
what you want. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I don't get the concept of a wedding.
Yeah.
I would rather elope and have like, 5 people
A little
at the
dinner.
ceremony.
Yeah.
Wear a cute dress, don't get me wrong. I live in dresses, so I would love to wear a dress. But a big wedding, I don't get that makes me
What was
the
that?
same way I feel when I touch other people's hair. I'm like, oh, same as a wedding. Oh God, no. Oh God, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're a big wedding girly, so I can expect the invite for that. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Noted. Um, you're a wife. You're very traditional.
In some
Yeah,
ways, yeah.
in some ways. Oh, I. What ways are you not traditional?
Why?
That felt a little bit like a hate crime. I'm not gonna lie. Like, leave my culture alone.
You know, it's all with love.
Yeah,
And
I
I was
know.
just
I
repeating,
know.
okay, so I have this thing and I do need to be mindful of it sometimes, but I'll hear someone like just speak in their accent or like say something and I like feel the urge to repeat it, not because I'm making fun of it, but it's just like I can't help myself
You're like a little
sometimes.
pat. Yeah, absolutely. The difference with I pat at people as well, but oh, hello. But the
Not
difference.
the dog.
For the listeners at home, I've just put my feet in the camera accidentally. Um, yes, the difference with me and you parroting people is you can actually do a lot of different accents. I cannot. What that mouth do? Nothing. She does nothing. She
Doesn't go
cannot
near
do.
hair, that's for sure.
You're fucking right. She doesn't. She can't sing. She can't do an accent. She doesn't do much. Um,
You're good at the yap though.
oh, I love to yap.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
I
that
love a
mouth do.
yap. Yeah, I'm a yapper. I should join Yappers Anonymous.
No.
And I don't need to stop it. It's not a problem. What else? What were we talking about there? Polyamory. Do you think that you're incapable of being in a sister wife situation emotionally?
Yes.
Yeah, you would. You think you're possessive and you would claw her eyes out?
I think I would, well, not necessarily. I think I would just be jealous, and I would be insecure in the
Yeah,
relationship and like
yeah.
think that they'd love them more and want them more. I'm like, I need
Hmm.
to know that you are with me and I am with you.
I'd like to have a sister wife. I can't imagine having to spend the rest of my life with just a man.
Mm.
Actually, now that we're talking about it,
Well, that's why I have friends. Yeah.
friends who want slumber parties.
Yeah, where we sleep and have snacks and watch movies.
Yeah, like Christina and Meredith. We
Yeah.
just just like we kick the husband out of the bed and we get into bed together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A little
absolutely.
morning coffee. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. This goes on the list with our adjoining houses.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Adjoining
Mhm.
houses in Thailand.
Yes. I hadn't thought of that, but yes, let's move to Thailand.
Sam and I were talking about the fact that we need to move closer sooner just in case a zombie apocalypse happens. And we need to be able to stick together and fight together so that we can survive. And my immediate thought was, okay, but if it depends on the type of zombie, because if it's the Walking Dead zombies, I'll duke it out. I'll like give it a try. But if it's like World War Z zombies or like those creatures from The Last of Us that can fucking sprint, I'm taking myself out. And then our lovely Sam was like, no, but it's going to be more so about like fighting other people for resources and shelter and all that stuff. And I was like, right. So what we're going to need to do is get
It's
some
train.
combat training because
Yeah.
I'm not going to die because I can't throw a punch.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have been bombarded with videos about training camps for Muay Thai in Thailand. But I mean, literally, I don't know how I've got so many on my page. Obviously, because I stop and watch the fucking things. That's how.
How does that
But
happen?
I got one, and then now I've
Yeah, how
like
does
got.
that first one make its way in?
No. Where did the first one come from? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think actually because I occasionally. Do you not? Well, maybe I'm on a different side of TikTok than you, but do you not get the cosplay people, the
Yeah.
girls that do high kicks and things like that? And
Sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah, those ones. I think that was the gateway drug. I think I stopped to watch one too many of them, and then yeah, I got to the Mai Tai camps.
Mm.
So yeah, I had not thought move to Thailand in our adjoining houses that we're going to live in with our husbands in monogamous relationships whilst we train for the apocalypse.
Hmm.
Amazing. And if we like build it like a fortress, like Purge-esque, if it does end up being Last of Us zombies, put the shutters down, crack open the Jenga, the Scrabble, the I don't know, the supplies, and just the lot of us we just hang out in the house together because we've doomsday prepped, and we just hope that the zombies don't get us.
Yeah. Well, what happens if we run out of supplies?
Well, then we die.
All right. At least we'll be together.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I wouldn't want to immediately. This is assuming that in Thailand we would be better off because of the currency exchange and
Yeah.
therefore able to make our houses into a fortress. Because we couldn't afford to do that here because I can't afford to buy, one brick here.
Mm.
So
Not a single brick.
not even one, not even a corner of a foundation, not even
Not
a
even a little bit of cement.
nope, not
No.
even a 2x4.
No.
But presumably, when we move to Thailand with our husbands, we'll be able to buy a house, and then we can fortify the house like we're in the Purge.
Yeah.
And then we can become extreme couponers, right?
Do they do that in Thailand?
Probably not.
Probably. No.
No, nowhere does it but North America. Are you fucking insane?
I guess they
Nowhere
wouldn't
does
have
it but you
to.
lot. Yeah,
Wouldn't have to.
and and then we would have our stockpile of doomsday prepped, marshmallow fluff and stuff like that, and yeah, we would all live happily ever after in our
Marshmallow
little
fluff.
fortress.
Uh-huh.
And then, if we don't die because we run out of supplies, which even if we did run out of supplies, obviously we'd go on because we are Mai Tai experts by this stage, so we'd go on supply runs like Joel and Ellie and grab our, marshmallow fluff, our Twinkies, our whatever. I'm literally now thinking of every zombie movie I've ever seen and what they end up going after. And then we would bring that back to the house, and that's how we would survive because we've trained for this, remember?
And we'd go and get the supplies because we are trained, and our husbands can stay at home in their safety.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we
My
protect
husband
them.
can stay in with my children that will
Yeah,
be also your nieces and nephews, and they can all look after each other. They
yeah,
can like play Jenga, right? Whilst we
yeah,
go and take care of business.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of course, we don't really want men that are good at anything. We just want pretty men.
Exactly.
What do we call what are they called? Himbos.
Himbo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. Himbos.
Mm.
There we go. And that's our future.
Sorted. Done. Perfect.
So yeah, let's organize that. Let's move to Thailand
Let's get on it.
immediately because the weather has been shockingly warm. So we know it's
End
coming.
times. End times.
End times. It's just a shame that the weather can't be shockingly warm in the summer. Well, it was for you. I know you had a nice summer, but we not so much.
Yeah, we had nice periods for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Bella just woke up in alarm. She was like, what the
Like,
fuck
what
is
the
going on?
fuck?
From a dead sleep. I just woke up and was like, what the fuck is that?
Mother.
Like, what are you doing?
Well, I think we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
Shall we wrap this baby up? Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for listening to us, guys, and your continued support. It's been a hoot and a holler talking about apocalypses and polyamory and bodies and Bush that Sam hates. I'm Kat. This is my co-host, Sam. And we both love you very, very much, and we're looking forward to continuing to do this for you all and as a passion project. So we
love you. That's so true. We don't say that enough. We do.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah. But thanks for listening, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Laters. Bye. Is this really attractive?
Is it tragic?
No, is it really attractive? Is it?
They're like, is this really tragic? Oh yeah, baby.
I think it looks like one of those fish. You know that's at the bottom of the sea and has one of those lights that hangs in front of its face?
They're beautiful in their own right.